And good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Gus Xia. I am representing Steinway & Sons Dubai, operated by House of Pianos. It is with a great pleasure that I welcome all of you here tonight with us in our newly built Steinway & Sons showroom, the destination to the world's finest pianos. Since our foundation 10 years ago, the support and promotion of music education, the community engagement, and the inspiring young talents were and are the driving motivation of House of Pianos. And this year, we are celebrating our 10th anniversary of an amazing journey into the world of music and education. Community Concert Series by House of Pianos is one of those initiatives we founded and running for the last 5 years successfully. The whole idea is to build a platform for local talents and international artists to showcase, to perform, to exchange, and to educate our community. Together, we have celebrated the local talents. We acclaimed the internationally known musicians, and we enjoyed having our younger beginners making their first steps on the stage through the student recitals, as well as we conducted a countless number of professional piano recordings. We are proud to be where we are now, Steinway Concert Hall, and we celebrate this with our growing community. The Steinway Grand Piano is the gold standard of musical instruments, representing over 170 years of dedication to craftsmanship, excellency, and uncompromised expression. This has led 19 out of 20 concert pianists to choose the Steinway Grand Piano for their performances on the stages across the world. That is why the Steinway pianos remain at the heart of the culture homes across the world and our Steinway Hall. Tonight's program, Music from Far Lands and Near Future, will feature the artists and the scientists from Mohammed bin Zayed University of Artificial Intelligence and New York University, led by Professor Gus Xia. Professor Gus Xia is the director of the Music X Lab, the lab that strives to leverage the computer music to make the world more creative, expressive, and interactive while embracing the humanity. Under the title of the Music from Far Lands and Near Future, we are all about to indulge into a unique combination of classical and novel music with the help of the artificial intelligence technology use. We express our gratitude to our tonight's program partners, Mohammed bin Zayed University of Artificial Intelligence, New York University, and Music X Lab. So before we start, allow me please, in respect to our artists, in respect to our audience, to ask everyone to mute your electronic devices. We have on your left 2 entry and 2 exit doors in case of emergencies. And finally, my colleagues are here with you tonight to help you all with any questions or requirements you might be having. We thank you, all of you, dear audience, for sharing this evening with us. And please, welcome to the stage, the Music from Far Lands and Near Future by Professor Gus Xia, Ziyu Wang, Daniel Shin, and Will Huang. Thank you.
So, let's worry about music AI, whatever it means later, and first appreciate some pure music. So the first piece I'm going to sing is called How Can I Help But Think of You. It is a Chinese art song, a very unique combination of the tradition of Chinese poetry and German art song. This song has 4 periods. Each one ends up with this phrase: how can I help but think of you? Each time with you refers to a different identity, gradually shifted from personal belonging to the compassion to one's country and people. Hope you like it. 天上飘着些微雨，地上吹着些微风。微风吹动了我头发，叫我如何不想他。月光恋爱着海洋，海洋恋爱着月光。这般迷思的夜夜，叫我如何不想他。水面落花慢慢流，水的鱼儿慢慢游。燕子，你说些什么话，叫我如何不想他？枯树在冷风里摇，烈火在暮色中烧。西天还有鞋儿残霞，叫我如何不想他。The next piece, 3 Wishes from a Rose, is also a Chinese art song. Chinese art song is famous for its very subtle interplay between the lyrics and melody. And you can hear that the rhyme of lyrics and melody, they go in concert with each other, with the flow of music. And this piece is probably the shortest piece that I've ever learned. And to compose a short piece is very challenging for a composer, because just within a very short time you have to arrange something fantastic. And this piece, just within 2 minutes, you will see a very colorful melody with the flow. I hope you enjoy it.玫瑰花，玫瑰花，浪开在碧浪干下。玫瑰花，玫瑰花，浪开在碧浪干下。我愿那渡我的无情风雨莫吹荡，我愿那爱我的多情游客莫攀摘，我愿那红颜长好莫丢下，好叫我留住芳华。Taking this opportunity, please let me to officially introduce my student, Dr. MBZUAI. He's doing, piano accompaniment for me, doing me a favor, probably because I'm his advisor. His another identity is a professional piano soloist and also a conductor and a composer. And now he's going to bring us a piece by Bach, right? Okay, let's welcome MBZUAI.
Thank you. I might be a professional pianist, but maybe not. But since I'm not a professional singer, so I will need a mic to say something, unlike Gus. Today I'm going to play two Prelude and Fugue by Bach from his Well-Tempered Clavier. And fugue is the main subject of Prelude and Fugue. And I guess you are quite familiar with the fugue, which has a very strict art form. Like it has a subject, and it will have separate voices, one after another, all begin with the same subject. And sometimes, usually our scientists will think of this fugue can be quite computational, or strict, or complicated. That is just hard to be appreciated. But, well, that is a misconception, especially for Bach's piece. And today, the first piece I'm going to play is the Prelude and Fugue in A flat major from Book 1. And I'm going to share with you what I think is unique about this fugue. So let me play the subject of this fugue, just a little bit. And it will be followed by the other voices. Yes, you will probably think this is a quite sweet piece, but just within 1 minute, you will reach something here. For me, this is already something grand, like Beethovenian, something like Beethoven, the Liberty. And I think I'm in the universe, immersed in that. So just within 1 minute, it's like you're having the breakfast by the Bach or by the stream. And later, 1 minute later, you're on a rocket and into the space and enjoying the freedom. And how amazing is that? Okay, please enjoy. Thank you. And now this is the end of the first chapter. The first chapter consists of 2 Chinese art songs, followed by Prelude and Fugue, a piano solo. And now let's start the second chapter. Let's welcome Gus back to bring us 2 Chinese art songs. Welcome.
This song I'm going to sing is named after homesickness. It is a very tender and exquisite piece. The last phrase is my favorite. The lyric says, "Oh, the falling flowers, are you floating to the south with the river? If so, I am willing to come along." Hope you can feel the homesickness from the lyrics and the music. Please enjoy. Oh, okay. 柳丝细缕，清明才过了，独自歌凭栏无语，更那看墙外卷啼，一声声道不如归去。惹起了万种闲情，满怀别绪，问落花虽渺渺微波，是否向南流？我愿与他同去。Now comes the last Chinese art song I'm going to sing in this concert. The title is River of No Return. It also talks about river as the last piece, but the emotion is very different because this time it is the Yangtze or Changjiang River, the top 3 biggest river in the world. And when the author saw the huge volume of running water, he somehow see the running history of humankind. And suddenly, his own success and failure seems so tiny compared to that. And suddenly, a helplessness and sorrow rises. And by the way, this is the only piece that the lyrics was done 1,000 years ago by a famous poet, Mr. Su Dongpo or Su Shi. Su Shi has a very transcendental view on life, where we can see that, a contrast in the very last phrase especially. On the one hand, he has let personal feeling flow as an ordinary person, the sorrow in front of the history. And yet, he's super optimistic, and in the lyric says, "Oh, life, like a dream so short. But maybe with the help with the wine, I like to free my soul and dissolve myself into the eternal nature." Please enjoy River of No Return. 大江东去，浪淘尽，千古风流人物。故垒西边人道是，三国周郎直。 乱世崩云惊涛连，卷起千堆雪，卷起千堆雪。江山如画，已是多少豪杰。遥想共进当年，小乔出家了，雄姿英发，羽上冠锦谈笑间，樯橹灰飞烟灭。故国神游，多情应笑我，早生华发。人生如梦，一尊还酹江月。So the second chapter structure keeps the same. We'll welcome MBZUAI to bring us another fugue by Bach.
The second piece I'm going to play is also from Bach's Well-Tempered Clavier. This one is in C sharp minor, different key, in the minor key. So we'll expect something darker. And I guess it is always a good idea to introduce the subject of the fugue before I play. Forgive me if you already know the subject, because it's too easy to get confused if you don't know the subject when you listen to the fugue, which has 5 voices. Okay, so the fugue will have, actually, usually it consists of subjects and counter subjects. But I guess for this piece, it is like evenly has 3 subjects, very important. The first one is like this. Just think, well, what is it? Maybe like choral music, but well, this is a weird sound. And later, we'll have a second subject. But it will start with the subject, the first subject. They will sound together when they enter. And later on, while the 2 subjects are in the music, there will be a third subject. It will be like do ba da 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 with the other 2. And it will be like okay, just in this way. Then these 3 subjects will always be together, and they will not be teared apart. Okay, so I guess now we are going to still ask the question, where are we? Like, when I first hear the fugue, it's like some music, a church music for chorale music. But later on, I'm feeling that I'm moving. But how can this be? Like, I'm in a perpetual machine, I will never stop. How can I be moving and staying in the same time in the church while moving, going in the same time? That's not possible. So it gave me a sense of, okay, so I'm asking where I am to me, and I guess the question is really hard to answer. And that's why this piece is so beautiful. I guess different pianists will have different interpretations on this. For example, my favorite pianist, Sir Andras Schiff, he will probably think this is like a chorale music, while the avant-garde Glenn Gould will play this piece like a dance, with irony, of course, and it is making this church-like music in a very active motion. And for me, I guess this piece is something dark, but it is like a march. You are marching, but listening to the chorale music while you are praying. It reminds me of the Resurrection Symphony by Mahler, especially the last symphony, while you are marching after your death and before the final trial. So I guess it is a very deep subject for me, and I guess it is also interesting for you to think, where are we while we are playing? Please enjoy.
finally, it's time to introduce some technologies. And I have to review our true identity. We seem like musicians, but actually we are computer scientists. We call that it is our zero identity because computer scientists come from zero. And in the old time, the instruments are self-expressing tools for musicians, but they may be just furniture, cost millions of dollars for laypersons. With technologies, we can transform them into media player, even interactive tutor, and intelligent partners. And let me introduce one thing at one time. First, let's welcome MBZUAI to motivate the function of a media player. And we will show you a reproduction of our rehearsal one day really happened between us. We were practicing Danny Boy, an Irish tone that's famous for Sir James Galway's interpretation. And something very common, but the funny happened. You can see it as a music joke. Mm-hmm.
Are we in the same key?
No, this is in G.
Come on.
You are in
The
F,
score
right?
is in F, yes.
Who gave you that score?
You gave me this one.
Could you are professional. Can you transpose that in real time?
Well, this is impossible.
Impossible?
Yes, of course not. Yeah.
But it is possible with the help of a machine. So would you like to elaborate?
Yes. Sure.
Okay, yeah. So you get it. So he's expecting me to perform dee 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 dee. But actually I'm performing da dee da da. So in two different keys. So human cannot solve this, but with the machine we have a hope.
Yes. So let's see. So this is actually not just a piano, but a player piano. And luckily, we have already pre-recorded one of my accompaniment in the system. So now we can play it and check it. You see, this one is in F, and we want it to be in G. How do we do it? We just make sure we select all the note, and then we move it up. And let's check if that's in G. Yes. Then we get the accompaniment in G, and we are ready to accompany Gus. Great. So Gus, are you ready? Please.
Oh, okay.
Machine is ready.
Okay, cool. and this time I got the privilege to sit here when I'm performing flute. That never happened between me and MBZUAI. So now I'm performing with you.
Yes, the virtually.
Okay, cool. So I guess at this time I should say thank you, Ziyu, thank you, machine, thank you, AI. We will get used to it. So one step further, if we can make a player piano, why not making a player flute? And by a player flute, I do not mean that a robot flautist just sitting here substituting me, say, go away, Gus. I mean a flute that can move on its own, has finger rings, and it can move my finger so that I can just relax and play a piece. Or help me in a more dynamic way to help me, perform a piece in an easier mode. So that, if I'm an amateur, I'm a learner, I can better learn how to perform a piece on flute. And for that sake, I'd like to introduce my student, Daniel Chen, to introduce his research.
Thank you for the introduction, Gus. First of all, I'm glad you mentioned the interactive tutor, because I have one right here.
Okay.
And thanks to Jingwei, we have a close-up ready to view on the big screen. So this is a haptic flute. It has servo motors that will control your fingers to play a piece.
Okay.
As the player, you play along with the machine. In the process, you learn to play the music.
Okay.
Now, Gus will pretend to be a musical novice and try to practice Twinkle Twinkle Little Star with the system.
So how to practice?
Gus, you simply relax your fingers and follow the rhythm.
So the ring will control my finger, but I still have to blow in the flute with the rhythm of Twinkle Twinkle Little Star, right?
Exactly.
Okay, so let's try.
Let's see.
Oops,
Oh,
sorry.
I forgot to turn it on.
Okay.
Can I turn-
Yeah, sure.
Let's turn
okay.
it on.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can hold it.
Okay. Wow. Wow, it feels very special that I blow into it and my finger, I just relax and let it move me. So it feels like an interaction and collaboration with the machine. And I can't say I performed the piece. I mean, but with the machine I did it, and it's a good way to learn to perform music, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah, and if the machine was successful, you probably felt the task was really simple.
Yeah.
But sometimes simple isn't always good, especially for Gus.
Uh?
Just relaxing your fingers probably made you learn nothing.
Still
don't we make-
something. Yeah.
Okay, why don't we make Gus play the piece himself?
Okay.
Let's make the machine stay still unless you make a mistake.
So you mean the process is more dynamic? It will only adjust my motion if I'm making a mistake, right?
Exactly.
Okay.
And we have a visual interface too.
We have a visual interface.
You asked for it, remember?
Okay.
Duplicate.
So what is that?
This is the rainbow score. It's a special musical notation we designed for beginners. It uses colors to further differentiate pitches. And when you make a mistake, the haptic flute will correct you. In the meantime, the mistake is visualized as a black mask
Okay.
above the musical notation.
Okay.
Now-
So can I try this, more free mode, adaptive mode now?
Yes.
Okay.
Could you make some mistakes on purpose?
Okay. Let's say I will play D da D and see what happened. Okay.
Let's go. Anytime.
You see that when I make a mistake, it corrects me, and the black mark shows. Could we try again?
Yeah, let's try again.
Yeah.
From the beginning?
Yeah. Okay, I see. How about let's just use this system to perform our next piece in our program, Sally Garden. Do you have that in your system?
Yes, we happen to have Sally Garden in our database.
Okay, this is also an average tone, lost in Sally Garden.
Please enjoy.
Okay. Does that move if I'm making mistake?
You need to release all the fingers below the index fingers.
Okay. So can we start again?
From the top.
From the top. Okay. Wow. Thank you, Daniel. Okay. With that, hopefully, in the near future, we can learn music in a much more effective way. So, one more step. If we can make an interactive tutor, why not make it even more intelligent? You know, when I play a flute, my fingers are here, and there are techniques actually people can play flute and sing at the same time, but I cannot. But when I sing a song, I always imagine myself play accompaniment for myself. But I am a terrible piano player. Let's give just a minute for. Okay, so I'm a very terrible piano player, so I dream of something that can help me perform piano in a much easier way. Because I'm trained a musician and have many music ideas here, how about an interface, an intelligent partner that can translate my mind into notes? That is not sci-fi, that is about my student from MBZUAI, Will Huang's research. Please, yeah.
Thank you for the introduction, Gus. So, obviously we cannot train Gus to move his fingers like a professional pianist in say like 5 minutes, but we have developed a system, or as Gus calls it, an intelligent partner that can allow him to very easily create piano music with very high-level musical ideas. So in our system, we base the generated music on existing musical phrases, such as this one. Let's listen to it first. And we control the generated music by altering this original musical phrase to fit a given chord. For example, let's try fitting the original music into the chord of the F major triad. Let's try a different chord. How about the D minor triad? Oh, the G minor triad. We can also also try something more complex. How about the dissonant F dominant 7th chord? And to change the texture of our generated music, all we have to do is to change the musical phrase we're referring from. So let's try that right now. And now the same chord with a different texture. Now since Gus already knows how chords and textures work, he can create a piano accompaniment for himself using this interface. Please have a try, Gus.
Oh, okay. So basically, when I'm trying to do the piano accompaniment for myself, I only need simple chords. So can I use it, the digits to control that?
Yes, of course.
Okay. So tonic, subdominant, okay, so now I cannot control the detailed notes. I do not have control that, and I have to borrow that from a piece, but I can control the chord in real time. And that's kind of enough for me if I want to do simple accompaniment. So now I'm going to sing a tone that I just learned, a beautiful Arabic tone, and accompaniment for myself using this system. And let's see how it works. And first, I will give 4 measures introduction. Biladi ashiti hadu imaratina eshtiri shabin dinu islamu hadu quranu hassan tuka bismillah ya watan Biladi, 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 biladi Hamakin hilahu shurura zaman Aksanan nabni naman Naman nuklis Makmaheshna nuklis Ramamanu ashagalam ya imaratina Ramsa urubati guru nanavdiki Bidimanarwiki Navdika bidarwah ya watan. This is only possible for my one finger movement with the help of AI. And you may wonder, hey Gus, you mentioned that this texture, the original piece is borrowed from other piece. You may wonder, is that a labor-intensive thing? Do I need hire a lot of musicians to input those textures for me? The answer is no. The intelligent partner not only has this in-depth music knowledge that can translate my idea, the chord, into notes, but also has a wide range access to all the audio available in this world, and it has a sharp ear to automatically translate the audio into notes. So, and for that part, I'd like to introduce back Ziyu because that's part of his research.
Yes, so I'm back again. Thank you, Gus. And now we are going to talk about something about the music AI, because with the AI, it can help you to generate something, to make the machine to generate something for the piano to play, and that's how the generated pieces or the texture is passed to Will's chordboard and just perform for you. Okay, so you've probably heard about a lot of AI things like the AI for driving, for computer vision, for machine translation, etc. And now I'm going to introduce you an AI system work for music. Okay, so the system just takes into the input of an audio, arbitrary audio file like the music for a pop band or for classical and arbitrary instrumentation. And the machine for now has a very similar way of like people to interpret music to make it into three factors, like the melody of the audio, the main melody, the chord, and the texture. And these are the three main factors when, let's say, to simplify the music, that's the three factors we want to understand. And then this music AI has its compositional skills. Of course, learning from the data, as well as we wire this AI to be working properly. And it can combine these three factors together and generate something that makes music sense. But this time, not to generate the audio, but generate some piano score, and it can be played on the player piano. So let me show you a demo. For example, let's input to the system this audio, a pop song. The intro is the guitar. Then the music builds. Vocal enters. Okay, and now let's see how well does the AI do to get the piano arrangement of it. Still the intro. And the content builds. Notice the melody floating above. And the vocal enters. So you see it's just accompanied by the piano. So now everything can be done. We computer scientists will say this is an end-to-end system. Basically means we input the audio and everything is ready to play it on the piano. So with this idea, how about let's use this technology to present our last song? How about that, Gus?
Cool.
Okay, so maybe now let's welcome Gus, Will, and Daniel back and to sing the last song. And okay, the last song will be the famous song Let It Be. And we find the audio of the original version, and we just put the audio into the system. And later on, the machine provides us the piano accompaniment. What we will hear is the machine-generated piano accompaniment played on this player piano, and human composition and the human part is composed by human. And please enjoy.
Okay, so it will be the final combination of machine intelligence and human intelligence. Please enjoy. Ready? When I find myself in time of trouble, Mother Mary comes to me, speaking words of wisdom, let it be. And in my wild world darkness, she is standing right in front of me, speaking words of wisdom, let it be, let it be. Let it be, let it be. Whisper words of wisdom, let it be. And when the broken-hearted people living in the world agree, there will be an answer, let it be. For though they may be parted, there is still a chance that they will see. There will be an answer, let it be, let it be, let it be, let it be. there will be an answer. Let it be, let it be,
Let it be.
let it be, let it be. Whisper words of wisdom, let it be. Let it be,
Let it be.
let it be, let it be. Whisper words of wisdom, let it be. Thank you. Thank you. Wonderful. Thank you. Congratulations.
Thank you.
For the flute.
This has been remarkable. Thank you. Please, once
Oh.
again, applauses to Professor Gus Xia, T1, Daniel Shin, and Will Kwan. All right. Dear guests, dear audience, thank you so much for making this evening possible, for sharing this evening with us. I would like to take this opportunity to thank our artists and to make a small announcement of the next upcoming program that is going to be happening in this venue already next Saturday, August the 6th. Musica bel canto is the next program by duet of the pianist Katerina Linhovska and singer Yelena Samoilova. The ladies are preparing for us a program full of world famous Italian masterpieces such as Ave Maria, Bessame Mucho, Lauretta, and many, many more immortal works of all times. The bookings are already open online on our website. It's www.houseofpianos-uae.com. Please visit the website, subscribe to receive the full season program, follow us on social media. We thank you once again
Thank
on
you.
behalf of the composers, I would say, the scientists, and thanks again to all our partners. Have a wonderful evening.
Thank you. And also, it's an honor to be here, and I also want to take this opportunity to thank all, House of Pianos, Chef Cat, and there are a lot of engineers, scientists behind the scene that make this possible. And also, it's an honor for me actually that Eric is here, the president of MBZUAI, and who laid many foundations for a lot of AI. Because for both art and science, it's like a stair that we step on the shoulders of giants, and only that is for great art and science be possible.
Thank you very much. I want to add a few words.
Yeah.
It's amazing for me to watch, my former student Gus, who was actually in my class more than 10 years ago, now growing himself into a professor. And then my grandchildren, who are becoming the next generation, computer scientists and also performing artists. I love to see my grandchildren to come over very soon, but I cannot be more proud, to see, AI, artificial intelligence, now reaching so far, so deep into everyday life. And that's actually why I came here to the country of UAE to build this new university. And I really wish that this university will be the cornerstone of cultural life and social life and the scientific innovations of the country and of the region in the future years. Thank you very much.
Okay. Yeah.